Hi Sheridan, welcome to SnapMath. Thank you for sending in your question tonight. So we have, we're describing this graph of cosecant and all the changes in it with these numbers. So there's three numbers that we have here. We have 3, 3, and pi over 3. So we're going to call this A, this B, and this C. So if we look at the regular graph of cosecant, I'm going to say that this is pi or negative pi out here, and then this is pi right here. So here are asymptotes, and this is the y-axis is an asymptote, and this is an asymptote. So what we get is that it's facing up here, and it's at 1 is where the vertice is. So it looks like this on this side, and then on the other side it looks like this, where the vertice is down this way going to the asymptotes. So to describe the vertice changes, we're going to take A. So what happens is this 3 is just multiplies, and it's the amplitude of the sine function. So if we look at the sine function, it looks like this right here. So it goes, and if this was on the sine function, it would actually make it more amplified, so it would go all the way down to 3 and back up to 3 on this side. So what really happens here is we change the vertices and move them 2 more away from the x-axis. So the vertices will be at -3 and 3y. And it'll depend what the x's are on our period change. So now what we're going to look at our period changes. What's our period of the original cosecant? Our period is actually 2 pi. And now we're going to use our B number and divide it by 3 to get our period of our new cosecant. So this is our period, and our phase change is just going to be actually both B and C. It's going to be C pi over 3 over B, which is 3, which that equals pi over 9. So that's our shift. So if we redraw this, I'm going to make another thing right here. If we look at our asymptotes, so what's happening is on this one, we're going to squish it in. We're going to divide this period by 3. And what we get is these are going to be our asymptotes. So if this was pi, this was, or negative pi, and this is pi over here, this is going to be pi over 3, and this is going to be negative pi over 3. And here's an asymptote right here. And since what we said before, it's going to be up at 3, our vertices. And the thing I forgot to say was that we're going to actually shift it. And this is going to be, this was actually negative up here, because this was a negative pi over 3. So our shift is going to be to the left. So I'm actually going to draw a whole new graph where we shift our vertices. So they were at pi over 3, but now it's going to be 2 pi over 9. This is going to be negative pi over 9. and this is going to be negative 4 pi over 9. And this is going to be our vertice right here and our vertice right here, and it's going to look like this. So this is what our graph looks like from our equation. So what the asymptote's going to be is, I'll take this, it's going to be 3 pi minus 1 over 9, and it's going to be equal to x. And we need a variable, so we'll say 3 pi a. So whatever you plug in for a, whether it be 1, and that would be our first asymptote, or negative 1, or our first, or 0 would be this asymptote right here, or negative 1 would be this asymptote. All right. Thank you for sending in your question tonight, and we look forward to answering more of your questions in the future. Have a